Hi you guys, it's me again. This is the second part of the video I was talking about in the earlier video. Um, right now I want to talk about Step 2 CS. I just took it last week, so it's really fresh in my memory. What I did was I made a list of things that I should be doing for myself, and I'm just going to kind of read through it and talk about what I thought of the test. Obviously for, the contract and the signature that you sign at the end of the test. I can't go into details about what the specific patients were like or anything of the sort, but I just want to tell you that the patients are excellent actors and they're really good at what they're doing. So don't worry about missing certain things because you thought that the actors wouldn't be able to act this out as well. So in my opinion, let me backtrack a little bit. I took my CS in Atlanta, Georgia, because I was scared of taking it in Philly. I'm sure they're all wonderful sites. I was just a bit scared. That's all. So from my experience, one of my problems was that when I was practicing for CS, I kept running out of time. So my biggest advice to everyone out there is practice, practice, practice. The more you practice, the better. You cannot have enough practice. Because the thing is, we all by now know how to take patient interviews. We know how to talk to them. We know how to do focused examinations, but the only thing we might be lacking in is time constraints. You have to do an entire interview with a physical examination, counsel the patient, come up with a diagnosis after the physical, nurse the patient. By nurse, I mean, be compassionate and, be like, oh, I'm so sorry for your loss or whatever. You have to address the difficult question that they ask you. So yeah, there's a lot to do within that 15-minute period, and then you come out and you have to type it all up. You need to write a HPR, review of systems, past medical history, family history, surgical history, meds, drug allergies, any pertinent positives like past surgicals, any recent hospitalizations. You screen for domestic violence. You get their social history, smoking cessation. You talk about alcohol use, and then you screen them with CAGE. Yeah, so there's just so much you have to do, and all that has to be done within 10 minutes and typed up. You also have to have a physical examination section, and then I don't know if you guys have noticed, but if you go to the USMLE website, you can pull up a practice patient note, and in there you have to have the differential diagnosis, and with each differential you have to have a history physical finding and a physical examination finding that supports your differential diagnosis. So I would also recommend that you go to the website and Google the patient practice note and make sure you practice on it, because it also has a character limit. So in the beginning when I first started, I would keep going over the limit. And I was like, what? This can't be good. But then eventually you learn to edit yourself. But all that really comes with practice. You have to practice. I really cannot emphasize this enough, that you have to practice. Now let's talk about the actual interview part. So what I did was, me and one of my friends, we used to practice during my OBGYN rotation, and we practiced on the weekends. And when I was in L&D, I just practiced interviews when I did the triage. So that's the practice that I got, and I feel like you should really partner up with someone and study for this test, or use your parents or friend or brother or sister or neighbor, whoever. At the end, I just practiced with my mom because my friend was away in Atlanta and I was at home. So, for the last few cases, I used my mom. But for the bulk of it, me and my friend practiced it together. We did about 10 cases a day. And then, kind of talked and goofed around for the rest of it. But don't do what we did. Try and get as much as you could. Within your time constraints, of course. So now let's actually talk about the interview part. If I'm looking away, it's because I'm looking at my list, sorry. So the first thing is you go walk in and you ask the patient about what brings them in. So before you do all that, you have to knock, introduce yourself. So you can introduce yourself as, I'm Dr. S. I'll be part of the team that's taking care of you today. Once you do that, you ask them, oh, what's going on? And then you can use whatever mnemonic you use, old cards, Pam hugs, Forest Field, I don't know what that is. I just kind of have my own way of doing it. So once you do that, you find out what's going on, then you ask for pertinent positives, negatives, onset, location, radiation, duration, all that good stuff. We all know how to do that. So the SP is going to mark you for all the things that you ask. Do not write down things that you did not ask, because you will get marked up for that, is what I've been told. Because as soon as you walk out, the SP is going to fill out a sheet, I think, and that's how they know what you asked or did not ask. Manners are kind of really important. You know, you have to show empathy. You have to be really nice. And draping is really important. Most patients, when they're sitting, you know, they're kind of draped themselves, but you know, you always have that one patient like, oh, you know, whatever, raw. So you have to make sure you seat them, be really nice about it, and drape them. When I took the CS, now they have this new thing where you can sanitize your hands with a hand sanitizer, and it counts just like washing your hands. But I was a little nervous, and I put the washing into my hand routine, and that's how I was going to build a rapport with my patient. So I just chose to go ahead and wash my hands anyway. But you don't have to. You can always just be like, oh, okay, well, I'm washing my hands, blah blah blah. Always ask for permission. Just be like, oh, I'm going to do an exam. Would it be okay with you? And let me know if you have any tenderness or discomfort, and just let me know ahead of time so I don't do the same procedure twice and cause more pain. So just the same polite courtesy that you would extend your patients, you also extend it to the SPs. The physical examination, you don't obviously have to do everything because you don't have time for it. So sometimes you would do a focused neuro, sometimes you would do a focused cardiovascular, sometimes you would do a focused abdominal examination. So it just really depends. You sometimes have to do a focused musculoskeletal examination. So it really just depends on what your chief complaint is. Just be professional, be courteous. There's really not much. Just draping is important. Never, ever, ever, ever listen through clothing. So if you want to listen to a patient's heart, you either pull down the robe or you go through their shirt, actually touch their skin, and never palpate, percuss, or do anything through the clothing. You will get marked off for that. Also, another thing I would suggest you guys do is go to the USMLE website and read about the different noises or sounds they would make while a physical examination that would tell you what's wrong. For example, if someone had a brewery and I was palpating for the brewery, correct? They would make kind of noise. I know it sounds stupid, but if you've never seen it before and you walk in, you're like, what in the world is this patient doing? So just familiarize it with yourself with what's happening in the different parts of the test. The test itself is not very difficult in my opinion. What is extremely difficult is the timing, so make sure you practice. If you guys have any questions, a link, comment down below and I'll try to get back as soon as I can. Right now I'm studying for my CK, so I'm a little freaked out, but yeah, if you have any questions or comments or concerns, link them down below and I'll get with you as soon as I can. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and really don't worry about CS. Just practice, practice, practice. Bye!